Before we start the video, let me just say that if you can already do a basic and a turn as both leader and follower, then you can already rotate roles when you dance. Now that we have taken that out of the way, let's start the video. So if you came to this video, you probably heard about the concept of rotating roles within the same dance, and now you really want to learn how to actually do it. If that is the case, then you came to the right place, because today me and Felipe are going to teach you the 4 main ways you have to indicate your partner it's time for role rotation. So let's go! I'm Tiago, and together with my boyfriend and dance partner Felipe, we created the concept of role rotation, where we rotate the roles when we dance. Mainly known for teaching bachata, we travel the world with our goal of inspiring everybody to try both leading and following in all social dances. Okay, so for today we are actually going to use bachata as the social dance example, since it's the style people know us the most for. What you have to remember is that this can be used with any other dance style, but let's not wait any more time and let's go straight to the first way to swap roles. The first way we are going to talk about is actually for the ones which are following in that moment, and is basically by stealing the tension from the one leading. This is probably the easiest one because the leader will completely feel and it can quickly release the command, allowing now the other one to start leading instead. Now, it's not really by the using of the force or strength, it's simply that the followers, they just start leading and that's it. But let me call Felipe and we go outside and we can give you 2 basic examples of this. So just give me a moment and I'll call Felipe right now. Okay guys, so I just met Felipe here in the park, and what we are going to do now is show you an example of how can the follower steals the leading from the leading. So sorry we have to do this in the park, but we are not in Spain for this month, we are in Zurich, so we are just going to do it here and not in our studio, so let's go straight into it. Okay, so I'm going to be following and Felipe is going to be
leading, yes.
And the only thing we're going to do is basic and a turn, and then I'm going to steal the leading from him. So we are going to start basic 1, 2, 3, 4. He indicate me a turn, I'm still following, I didn't do anything yet. And then we go 5, 6, and here 7. Instead of tapping, I'm going to tapping, but now I'm giving the indication 7, 8, and now I can go from a leading. For a leading of a turn, I can go and change the tempo because it's something I'm going to talk about today. So I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now I'm the one leading. Okay, another example that you can also do is when you're doing, for example, all these body rollings and waves in bachata, because we have so much contact. So again, I'm following. Felipe is leading a side body roll, for example, and I'm here, for example, I can just steal this and now I start moving and steal him for the body rolls, and now I'm leading. So basically the only thing you have to do is find a moment that is easy to steal that tension. So start using the tension. It's just indicating that now I want to be the one leading. And that's pretty much it. So let's go back inside the house so I can keep going on other ways to do role rotation. Now the second way of doing role rotation that we are going to be talking today is for the leaders. And it's basically then the leader will adopt a more common position for a follower, a common position or frame, basically telling them that now they do want to follow. And this can be like simple things like turning their hands, palm down up, or grabbing them as the follower will grab them in the beginning of the song, for example like this instead of being like this. But then again, let's just go meet in the park with Felipe, because this way you will understand better, because you'll have me and Felipe doing together. Bam! Magic! And we are back to the park, and now we are going to be exactly the opposite. So I'm going to be leading, Felipe is going to be following, so let me move here. And what we are going to do is, I'm going to indicate that now I want to change from my leading to my following by putting myself in a follower position. So, for example, follower positions will be hands here, or this position where we normally start dancing. Okay, so if I'm leading right now, imagine a basic 1, 2, 3, I give him a turn 5, 6, And then instead of just going here, what I'm going to do is actually putting the hand here, grab this hand, indicating him that now I want to actually follow, and Felipe will just do whatever he wants as a leader. For example, a double side body roll. So we are going one more time. We go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember 5, 6, 7, 8. Because
fix the timing, yeah.
We have to fix the timing, which we are actually going to talk right now. And that's pretty much it, guys. So that's another example how you can going from leading to following by indicating you now want to follow. Another simple thing, as we said, is literally just go down, and that's it. So more smooth way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is these small things that indicates the leader that we want him to start, or her to start the leading. Let's go back inside. Before we go to the way number 3 to rotate roles, there is a very important concept and probably the most challenging thing about doing role rotation, which is how to deal with the timing. So yes, you do have to always change timing every time you swap roles. Basically on tempo 1, you know, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. On tempo 1 is almost universal that the leader always starts with the left foot and the follower with the right foot. Now this doesn't apply to all social dances, but in salsa and bachata, for example, it's the same. It becomes universal that we start with the left for the leaders and the right for the followers. So in role rotation, we do have to make that shift too. Okay, now that you understand that every time you rotate roles, you have to be careful with which leg you are starting on one, let's continue with the different ways of doing role rotation. Starting on one with the opposite leg is basically the third way that you have to swap roles or to switch roles. And yes, it's as simple as that. Imagine that, for example, you are on a break of the song and then you start to the opposite side. Your partner will definitely understand that you want to swap. But you have to be careful with this. You cannot do this at any moment. I mean, you can, but it will just be confusing and not smooth at all. Use moments of clear separation, like for example, shinings in salsa or, as I say, the breaks in the song. But actually, let me show you a video where me and Felipe did this in a demo last month in Vienna. So let me go here, here it is, the video that I want. Okay, so here we are dancing in Vienna. Let me jump a bit forward. So here, as you can see, I'm leading a turn now, and then I will big step, turn, and then on one, I went to the opposite side. So let me go back and count with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on one, I went to the right instead of going to the left. And if you see Felipe, he understood straight away on 8 when I went down, 5, 6, 7, 8, that I wanted to follow, so basically swapped with me. And that's it, guys. Bam! Simple, no? I mean, not really, no, because the partner does need to understand when you switch, and in the end they can actually just think you messed up the timing and swap again or changed again. But again, don't worry, because everything comes with experience. The last way you have to change roles is to actually just say it to a partner that you want to swap. Now, very important. From the bottom of my heart, me and Felipe do not recommend this at all, especially when both of the dancers already understand the mechanics of role rotation. Because in the end, it kind of ruins a bit the purpose of social dance, which is connecting without the use of words. But the reason why we decided to put it here, it's because in the end, in the Latin social dance world, this is still not common, like at all. So you are still never sure when the person you are dancing with knows or not both roles. So it's always good to ask them before, and even if they know a bit, like a basic and a turn, they can do role rotation, but still not having the experience to figure out when you actually indicate you want to switch roles. Let me explain. Mine and Felipe's students, they all learn both roles, so they end up not having this issue anymore, but Whenever me and Felipe travel to events and teach role rotation, a lot of people are trying the other role for the very first time. So when they get to a social dance with us, and we do try role rotation because we know you are in our class, so we know that at least one combo you have to know how to do in the other role. But even though sometimes they don't realize our indication to switch roles, and I mean, it's normal, we cannot say anything because it's not in 1 hour that you will master role rotation. So in the end, we're helping them by saying, okay, now you go, or okay, now you lead. I mean, our goal is that everyone starts learning both roles from the beginning everywhere, because we do teach it to our students like that for years, and we know that it is the best way to learn social dances. And more teachers are doing it as well, so we do believe sooner or later you will never have to use this way anymore unless you are dancing with very inexperienced dancers, because role rotation would actually be a normal thing. But anyway, we thought it was just important to just have it here, because in the end it's also one way to do it. So okay, so let's just quickly sum up the 4 ways to do role rotation. Then we have 1. Stealing the tension from the leader. 2. The leader adopting the follower position or frame. 3. Starting the one from the opposite side, or which means the opposite leg. And 4. Actually telling it to the person. And finally, please always remember to be careful with the tempo, because if the leader starts with the left leg on 1, when switching, the new leader also has to start with the left leg on 1. And that is it for today, guys. I hope we helped you with this video, and if you are not doing it yet, we hope we inspire you to at least try role rotation, because we honestly believe dancers should be free to dance as leaders or as followers, depending on their own choice. Now, before you go, let us know in the comments below which way to rotate roles you actually think is the coolest one, because we are actually very curious this. And if you are here to improve your leading, following or styling, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. I'm Tiago and I already do role rotation. Do you?